that sign right there? No pandas allowed.
What is the worst sneaker release?
Panda. Every Panda release horrible.
Panda Dunks. Panda Dunks.
Testing 1, 2. Boom, boom. Hello guys, and welcome back to whatever I have to show you today. So before we get started on this video, please go ahead and follow my Instagram. I posted a little teaser for this video to add some extra context to what I'm going to be talking about today. So go follow me on my Instagram down below, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. So it's been a while since Nike decided to start releasing a whole bunch of dunks. And now more recently, they have become more of a common sight to see in retail stores and other online retailers as well. However, the saturation of the Nike Dunk has led to a decline in consumer interest. This is both for new dunks and even past releases as well. And there's a sentiment that the Nike Dunk is dead, and it's been like that ever since like 2 years ago, mostly because they often compare what's going on now to what happened back then when the Nike Dunk was in its prime back in 2020. Now the Nike Dunk is much like the Air Force One in that it's mostly in retail stores now and online retailers, and you're able to pick it up on a regular Thursday, Friday afternoon after you get out of work. It has a widespread appeal that has been like that since 2020, and now that a lot of retail stores and a lot of people have the Dunks, I believe it's going to be a mainstay product. Now this shift proves to be advantageous to consumers because they have a broader selection of products to choose from within the Nike Dunk, but it does pose a challenge to resellers. So in today's video, I'd like to articulate my opinions on why the Nike Dunk has declined in popularity, and additionally I'll be exploring how Nike may be focusing their own interest on the Nike Dunk to become more of an everlasting product rather than a product that may be going out of style or out of stock later on, or a product that can be potentially phased out in the future. So let's rewind the clock just a little bit. So it was created in 1985, and it was originally made to be a basketball shoe, but it then quickly transitioned into a skateboarding and streetwear icon that it is right now. Then in the 2000s, we saw the Nike Dunk become more prominent in the sneaker subculture that it was back then, all with the inclusion of the Pigeon Dunk that released back then. And then that era basically set the stage forward for the Dunk to be what it is right now. To start this video off, I wanted to explain one of my sneaker purchases recently. I recently got the St. John's Dunks off of StockX. Now this is one of the more wanted colorways, one of the more hyped colorways of the shoe. The St. John colorway released back in 2020 as like a restock or a retro version of the shoe, and it recently came back as a restock back in September 2023. But there are minor differences in both the 2020 version of the shoe and the 2023 version of the shoe. They're basically the exact same, obviously different manufacturing dates, but there is a slight difference between both of the pairs. There's significant change lies in the pricing dynamics of the shoe. Looking back at the numbers on StockX, they reached a staggering $509 back in August of 2021. I recently got these shoes for around $130, including fees, shipping, and taxes and all that. And it's a price point that is very similar to a lot of what the Dunks are selling for nowadays. And this particular Dunk is very easy to get now on StockX. There are various factors that contributed to this price drop, mostly with the September 2020 release. There was a estimated 200,000 pairs that released that day. And around that time, there was a notable decrease in the shoe's popularity and the model's popularity at that. And this marked a realization point for me to where Nike Dunks aren't what they used to be back then, back in 2020 and 2021. Now it's becoming more of a mainstay product than what it was before. Referring back to my previous videos on resellers, there's a notable shift in consumer interest when it comes to buying expensive sneakers. There's a wariness to the resale market as we speak right now. And moreover, dunks are losing their appeal. Nobody's willing to spend high amounts of money for something that retails for $110, $115. The fashion and streetwear community are gravitating to more limited options right now. You know what was limited way back then that is now basically like an Air Force? The Panda Dunk. The Panda Dunk has elicited both an adoration and disdain at the same time. It gained favor for its simple, favorable colorway. The black and white style basically can go with anything, but some critics disliked it for this very reason. This particular model of the Dunk found itself oversaturated with the market. A lot of the times people would find themselves looking at Instagram pictures with a lot of people wearing the shoe at the same time. And it just, everybody had the shoe. Everybody wanted the shoe. There were plenty of restocks. I can't even count the amount of restocks that this shoe had. And it's safe to say that it's a shoe that will never go away. There will always be restocks of the shoe. There will always be demand for the shoe. And people aren't willing to pay high prices anymore for the shoe. Nowadays, you're able to go on StockX and find the shoe for less than retail or at retail, and it's quite available in retail stores like Foot Locker, Finish Line, JD Sports, Champs. Basically any shoe store that sells hype sneakers, they'll have it. And referencing StockX numbers, looking back at June of 2021, it reached a staggering $305. While the Panda Dunk may not have its hype like before, it's basically a stark contrast for what it was back then when it sold for $300. And like I said before, now you're able to get this shoe for retail or even less than retail on certain sites. A lot of consumers are gravitating towards other colorways of the Dunk. Most notably the Valentine's Day Dunks. They were very popular with both ladies and resellers as well. It's evident that the Panda Dunk has transformed itself into a mainstay shoe, not something that may get phased out by Nike anytime soon. And it's a shift that I really find satisfying. Now, there really isn't much of a competition when it comes to Dunks. Adidas came out with their Sambas last year, and it became one of the more notable shoes of 2023. And it definitely had the life cycle of a Panda Dunk, where it would restock on the Adidas website, but eventually get sold out and have plenty of restocks. But unlike the Panda Dunk, it became more of a mainstay shoe way quicker than the Panda Dunk was. The hype has settled a bit on the Sambas. Now Nike and Adidas seem to be competing with each other with different models. Me personally, I've been seeing both the Nike Killshock and the Adidas Gazelle competing against each other. Oftentimes I would see them in retail stores with very similar colorways, and they both aim to achieve a comparable aesthetic and appeal. And now Nike seem to be exploring different avenues of competition. Now that they have New Balance to worry about, now they're going forward with a lot of their retro runner styles to compete with New Balance, and as well as competition with Adidas with both the Dunks and the Killshot models that they seem to be releasing more colorways of. A lot of these companies seek to capture and retain consumer interest in this ever-evolving sneaker landscape. And with what the Dunk is right now, I think Nike succeeded in what they were doing in getting out this product to as many people as possible, and to do well when it comes to comparing each other with both Adidas and even New Balance at the same time. So what's next for Dunks? Well, one thing is for sure, the Dunk train is not going anywhere. Based on my brief research, there is a whole bunch of Dunks releasing later this year, both general release and collaborations that kind of pique my interest. Obviously the Valentine's Day Dunks, which released already, are very noticeable. Both the women's colorway and the grade school colorway, a lot of people have been buying them up. A lot of people have been taking an interest in them. The plum colorway is coming back. I remember that this colorway released back in 2020, and now they're restocking it, and I think there's definitely a lot of people that are interested in this shoe. The collaboration front looks to be very promising, with the Futura colorway coming out later this year. And Futura, as you know, did a collaboration with both Off-White and Nike, so expect to have that same appeal and aesthetic with this one. And then there's an Olympics collaboration coming out. I don't know if these are the official photos that I'm showing you right now. It's very clean, very aesthetically clean. Can't wait to see what this looks like in person. This looks very interesting. So are the Dunks dead? Well, perhaps to some, but a lot of consumers are getting the pairs that they want, especially Panda Dunks, and I just think that they're thriving at this point. There's a sustained demand for casual shoppers to get the shoe, and the influence of social media has really garnered interest with casual sneakerheads, not so much the very dedicated ones, but casual shoppers and just very casual sneakerheads are looking to get pairs that really they haven't been able to get at all. And it's very commendable that casual shoppers are able to get this shoe because, you know, me being a casual shopper, I'm not so much like a really big sneakerhead that buys a whole lot of shoes. I'm very glad that I at least have the option to buy Dunks and not so much rely on resale sites. Obviously, I did buy the St. John's Dunks and they are very popular. I just wanted that Dunk and I wasn't gonna pay the $500 to $400 price tag that it was back then. So for me to be able to go into a retail store and ask for a size 9 and a Panda Dunk and for them to most likely have it, it's very commendable that Nike and these retailers know that the demand for this type of shoe is still there and for casual shoppers to enjoy rather than the most hardcore sneakerheads and resellers to really take advantage of. I think it's crucial to relabel a product that is dead. Like for example, the Yeezy line, they're dead. Like obviously there is a restock coming in later this year, but it's a dead brand. Not a lot of people are going to have interest in it even after the restocks, in my opinion. But unlike Yeezys, the Dunks are going to continue to thrive. And I'm very optimistic that the Dunks are going to retain this status as a mainstay product rather than a product that will get phased out in the near future. Obviously, Nike will have different interests when it comes to their products. So the Dunk may not be here in the next 2 to 3 years time, but Air Forces are still here. Why not Panda Dunks? Why not just any other Dunk? So I'm very glad that Nike is where they're at right now when it comes to their product selection. I'm glad that they're leaning more towards bringing out a lot more product to consumers to be able to buy. And I, for one, am glad that I'm just able to at least have the option to get the shoes that I want. The whole conversation around the Dunk landscape is very exciting, and I look forward to its continued success in the years to come. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below what you think. I would love to have a conversation with you guys. Next video out soon. Hopefully I get it out soon. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope to see you guys later.